Hi everyone, we're excited to be here today to be talking with all of you. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to spend an hour maybe with us as we go through some updates with ODHA. Hey Gina, thanks.
Hi, how are you?
Hi Gina.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us, everybody, and thank you. There seems to be change happening every day. There's so much uncertainty, so thanks to Gina and the ODHA for keeping us up to date, and thanks for joining us again for this update.
You're most welcome.
And we are hoping this will be recorded, so if you want to listen to it again or share it with your colleagues, we're going to try to record this one for sure. We'll be starting in a few minutes. There's still some attendees that are logging in, and so we just thought we'd go live so people aren't staring at a blank screen anymore.
Maybe in the future we could have a session on how to cut your bangs, because this is going to get to be a problem for me.
I love it. How to do at-home nails.
Yeah, really. Oh yeah, we could have painted nails for probably a couple of weeks.
I'm missing my tips.
The problem is I can't paint my nails without my loops, and so I won't have really nice nails unless I get my loops, and I've got to go to the office, so I'm not doing that. And so yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you've all seen that Facebook meme out there that says we're about 3 weeks away from knowing what everybody's real hair color is.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. It's like when we go back, we're all going to need a prep week. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Lots of things that are happening. So we've muted everybody that's joining us right now. So there is a question tablet template you can click on. You can ask us questions as we're going through. Given the nature of what we're talking about, I know we cannot answer every single one today. Some of them are very specific, and Gina usually looks after kind of handling some options or resources for that. But feel free to write some questions as you're going. I'll be trying to monitor that throughout the presentation, okay?
That's great. Thanks, Carrie.
You're welcome.
Thanks for organizing all this.
Yeah.
It's not easy, right? We're learning so much.
I am, and I'm learning patience, as everybody is learning patience, and waiting on hold with GoToWebinar today for an hour and a half to ask them a simple question about a webcam.
Good thing it didn't connect.
Exactly.
Good thing it didn't connect when they connected.
I know. So, you know, it's teaching me patience and slowing down, which is hard for us to do.
That's right.
Very hard. So, well, I think we're at 2 o'clock. So should we get started, ladies?
That sounds great.
Yeah. All right. So for those of you who joined on, just, you know, since we already said our hellos, I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us, and thank you, Gina and the ODHA, for keeping us up to date. It seems to be rapid change every day. There's something else, right? So I know it must be hard for you also to keep up and to share that message, but we really appreciate you being on with us and addressing some of the questions. And I know some of them aren't really for the ODHA, but we'll talk about those ones afterwards. Gina's going to stay with us for a while, and then we'll stay on and have a chat with the RDH view and talk about a few more things. And then so I hear that background again. And then we're also going to share some, you know, some extra resources for you, just different things that are going on that can help you, because we know a lot of people are working on their continuing ed. I don't think RDHU has ever been so busy, to be honest. It's been, you know, really busy with all of our online courses and extra activities, QA. So we want to share some of those things with you that that can help you, you know. So that'll be after Gina.
Okay, would you like me to start now?
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Can you hear me okay, first of all? Okay, so I'd like to begin by saying that I hope that everybody is doing well and that you're home safely with your kids and taking care of yourselves. I do have a message from Margaret Carter, the Executive Director of the ODHA. The ODHA has been asked by the Ontario Medical Association and the Ontario Association of Midwives to ask any members who may have PPE that they are not currently using to consider donating them in this time of crisis to frontline workers. If you are able to help, please send an email to info@odha.on.ca with your contact info and a list of what PPE you are able to donate, both type, for example, nitrile gloves, and the number you have available to donate. ODHA will work with the OMA and AOM to coordinate the handover. In the meantime, although we have closed the office as directed by the government, ODHA staff are fully functional from home and available for ODHA members to reach out to with questions and concerns. Email is probably the most efficient connection, but we are checking for phone messages frequently. Take care and keep well. So that's from Margaret. Now we're going to move on to some employment concerns. So in the recent days, we've been posting and emailing updates to keep you informed of the ever-changing health concerns surrounding the COVID-19 virus. Along with the health updates, we are also posting employment information. Employment information is subject to change as the government, federal and provincial, implement changes to address the economic effects of the pandemic here in Canada. We've addressed the topic of maternity benefits in our March 20th update via email and on our website, so please take a look at this post if this issue concerns you. That has been a fairly popular one, so hopefully you'll find the post helpful. Now, there have been a few questions raised concerning the layoff process. So I reached out to our legal counsel and they have provided some answers. We'll be posting this information via broadcast email and on our website as well, so not to worry if you don't capture it all at this moment. As many of you were laid off, some of you sought legal support from various sources, including ODHA's legal line, and one of the concerns was that if you were laid off without express authorization from you or consent from you, it could trigger a constructive dismissal. So in response to this concern, I have the following information from our legal counsel. So this is in their wording. In general, employers need express authorization from the employee to unilaterally impose a temporary layoff. If there is no such prior authorization, the employer can ask the employee to consent to a temporary layoff. Given the current economic and social climate, employees may be willing to provide consent. An employer that unilaterally lays off an employee without prior authorization or consent risks being liable for constructive dismissal. In rare cases, a court will infer a right to temporarily lay off employees, such as where it's a widespread industry practice, but this is the exception to the rule. Now, the unique circumstances associated with COVID-19, including but not limited to the recommended and mandatory closures of non-essential businesses, will likely lead to an inferred right to temporarily lay off employees. So given the extraordinary circumstances, it seems likely that a temporary layoff due to valid COVID-19 government directives and mandatory orders would not be considered a termination. So again, that comes directly from our members when they receive some information, because it is true, and then this is a response from our legal department. Now, the next question was raised by independent contractors. So that this question is such: if I let go of my independent contractors, is that a layoff? Independent contractors are not employees, so the ESA layoff provisions don't apply. Businesses may decide to terminate the contractor's engagement or temporarily stop requesting services subject to any terms of any agreements with them. They may be eligible to collect employment insurance if they have paid into it and if they meet the other eligibility requirements. Now, with that being said, there are many dental hygienists that are practicing as independent contractors and do have their own businesses, but then there are many that are self-employed, and working in practices. So even though your employer has defined your relationship as an independent contractor, your employment arrangement may be that of an employee. So Canada Revenue Agency has a publication, Employee or Self-Employed. It's publication number RC4110. This booklet outlines the criteria you need to meet to be an employee or to be self-employed. You can access this info at www.canada.ca. In the search box, you put RC4110, and the first item in the list is the booklet. Click to open the document. You can review this information if you're concerned about your employment relationship. You get more information about this on the Service Canada website as well. So Service Canada, your employer, or you can request a review of your employment relationship by completing the form CPT-1. The name of it is Request a Ruling as to the status of a worker under the Canada Pension Plan and or the Employment Insurance Act. And you would submit this to your tax services office. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, that that is something that could possibly apply to some of our members. Excuse me. Next, I just wanted to mention, Prime Minister Trudeau announced yesterday that the government has proposed legislation to establish the Canada Emergency Response Benefit. The acronym is CERB. This taxable benefit would provide $2,000 a month for up to 4 months for workers who lose their income as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The CERB would be a simpler and more accessible combination of the previously announced emergency care benefit and emergency support benefit. The CERB would cover Canadians who have lost their job, are sick, quarantined, or taking care of someone who is sick with COVID-19, as well as working parents who must stay home without pay to care for children who are sick or at home because of school and daycare closures. The CERB would apply to wage earners as well as contract workers and self-employed individuals. So now this is where the independent contractor, self-employed dental hygienist comes in and has access to funding, and self-employed individuals who would not otherwise be eligible for employment insurance. On the website, they address issues like what happens if you have already applied for EI and if you are already receiving EI. So CERB would be paid every 4 weeks and would be available from March 15th, 2020 until October 3rd, 2020. The portal for accessing CERB will be available in early April. For more information about CERB and how you would apply, this is my suggestion, this is how I get it. Just Google the words CERB Canada, and the link on the canada.ca website will come up. Then you can read in its entirety the whole post from yesterday that was released by the federal government. So in days to come, we'll get more information, and I'm sure that Prime Minister Trudeau will continue to update us on this most very important information, as all of us are concerned about how we're going to pay our bills. So now Kathleen received some questions from some of you last night and today, and I'm going to address some of them. Some of them I'm unable to answer, but we'll start with the first question. It starts this way. I am meant to go on mat leave in May. My employers have laid me off. I am employed and have insurable earnings. Should I apply for regular EI now? And will it affect my mat leave? So what I suggest is you check out the maternity benefits update by Piccolo Heath from March 20th, which is on our website. That might answer some of your questions. And in my research on the Service Canada website, they do discuss the possibility that if you received employment insurance benefits in the past 52 weeks, you may not be eligible to receive the maximum number of weeks of maternity or parental benefits. However, if you've worked the 600 hours since your last claim, you could start a new claim. Best thing to do would be to contact the Service Canada people and get confirmation on that, okay? Now, the next question is, I don't have a contract, I get paid an hourly rate, there are no deductions on my paycheck, I'm not paid at all if I don't have a patient in the chair, there are no benefits, such as sick days and vacation days. Can I still apply for EI? So this person is basically self-employed or an independent contractor. So no, you can't apply for EI because you haven't paid into EI as an employee or as a self-employed person. so you are not eligible. However, you may be eligible for the CERB benefit introduced by the federal government that I mentioned earlier. So again, my suggestion to you would be to keep your eye on that website and make sure that you apply if you are eligible. Now, the third question. I'm under quarantine right now and have filed under sickness quarantine. When my quarantine is lifted, how do I switch to EI, lack of work? So again, I did some research on the Service Canada website. Upon researching that, I found out that while collecting sick benefits, if your situation changes, you are to contact Service Canada. So you may be eligible for other benefits. So that's really just their suggestion right there. So once you're finished your quarantine, it's probably going to ask you some questions at which time you can say that your benefits have changed or contact Service Canada. The last and final, the final question I'm going to answer is, I am still not sure if as a dental hygienist, you can apply for employment insurance from the government due to office closures in light of COVID-19. So I have answered that, and I'm going to reiterate it, that if you are an employee at your workplace and you have been temporarily laid off, you are likely eligible for EI benefits or the CERB benefit that has been introduced. Go to the Service Canada website and review the eligibility requirements. And if in fact you are, you can start the process by applying. So that's my update for today. As we've mentioned in our email communications, you can go to www.piccoloheath, which is PICCOLOHEATH.com, piccoloheath.com. If you select publications, you will see blog entries, and on the right, you will see PH's employer resources. If you click there, once you're in this area, there's information for you as an employee and as an employer, because there are many of you out there that probably are employing other dental hygienists in your own independent practices. So you can take a look. There's a lot of information there. There's also a lot of information from the Ontario Human Rights Commission. So there are many links that will take you to the right places for current information about legislative changes in the face of COVID-19 and links to the many issues that might interest you. So it's just a reminder too, that while you're at home in isolation, and if you have time, you may like to complete some courses you already have in your ODHA account and or access the many resources available at RDHU. We've partnered with Kathleen and her team to provide a discount for RDHU's tool, QA Coach, that assists you in completing your quality assurance portfolio. Thank you very much, everybody, for having me here today. And I'm just going to say, stay safe and stay home.
Thank you, Gina.
Thanks, Gina.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye, everyone.
And Gina, there weren't many questions that came in. There was one. I'll send it to you directly, and that way then you can give that one person some clarification just to make sure.
Absolutely.
From what,
Absolutely. And I.
Is okay.
Absolutely, no problem. Thank you very much for that, Carrie.
You're welcome. Thanks, Gina.
Bye.
Bye.
Gina. So I have a question. Like, it was a lovely email from Shauna. It's a lot about concerns about when we go back to practice. So I think we're gonna really maybe talk about that later, like maybe next week. You know, it's just all about how do we keep safe, the aerosols, the virus surviving, the inability to really screen people that have traveled. It's not about that anymore. So, but I think that's a bigger topic, and I think we're going to talk about that and get as much information. Perhaps we even get Linda McClarty on. But the thing is, we really don't know yet, right? So as far as I know, like things are definitely going to change in the dental practice, right? So, but that was a great email, Shauna. So please, we are going to be looking into this, and then perhaps next week we can, on our next show, we can talk about that.
I think patients are going to really start to take what we say seriously, and I'm kind of excited by that. I think the awareness of spread of infection, the awareness of saliva transfer and everything else that way, I think we can use this as a way to communicate and to really help our profession, help people. I think people may be more open to what we have to say and will look at us differently that way now.
I agree.
I think
So-
Ontario, to be honest, we've already been kind of on that. I mean, the standards that we have been upholding are pretty
High.
crazy. You know, we've had very high standards. I know on certain Facebook chat groups, and I know it's not a comparison game, but when others hear about what Ontario and some other provinces have been doing, people are really quite impressed. So I think we'll kind of continue on that trajectory and maybe have a little bit more, you know, I think our employers are going to be on board a little bit more than maybe in the past.
I think so.
Yeah.
But you're right, Kat, that's another big topic that maybe we can have
We need
another
an
special
expert,
guest on.
right?
Yeah, so we'll do some investigating and see what's out there and see who we can get on for next week, and maybe dig a little deeper into what the future could hold and some of the things that we might be able to do. And then today we wanted to really talk about, because like I said, we're super busy at RDHU. We a lot of people are working on their quality assurance records from across the country. This webinar is just for Ontario, same as last week as well. But so we just wanted to let you know that we're trying to offer as much as we can. We have some great resources to share, extra layering of learning. So always feel free to reach out to us. If we don't get back to you right away, it's because it has been busy. As you can imagine, we had events planned across the country. We had a lot of things going on. So we're just putting our plans in place to move forward. This is affecting everybody, and everybody, you know, we all have to have patience, right? For many things. So the one thing that I wanted to mention with the RDH View, we are going to get together and have discussions, I think every week. But we do have Chrissy Ford joining us on Saturday, April the 4th at 2 p.m. So that'll be nice. That'll be on lasers, and she's a really great dental hygienist and runs a very successful practice. We thought she'd be great to have on. She was supposed to be with us live. We had a whole week planned with her, but now that's going to be postponed. But we still want to have her on like this, which I think will be great. So that's this Saturday, April 4th at 2 p.m. I think it is. But we'll send out an email as well to remind everybody. Yeah, so that's that. And then RDHU and Dental Hygiene Quarterly, which, you know, we do have tons of, like with Dental Hygiene Quarterly, we have a lot of online courses. It's not just DVDs. Some people still have the DVDs, but we also provide an activity sheet with the goal statements, the bibliography, so you can just take exactly what's on the activity sheet, put it into your Smile portal. We add tons of extra free resources. So it's like $149 for a year for 12 hours, but you're probably getting 20 hours. So just
Kathleen,
think about that.
Kathleen, could you go over which the last digits, which year you're due, just so that for those who are listening, we're planning ahead?
I'd have to maybe Beth can look at the email that it's I don't have them memorized. I used to have a fantastic memory and now I don't. So yeah, so I just don't anymore. It's sad, but so I'd have to have Beth read those off. But I do know that, which is really nice too, because you have you know when your number's up, although we all continue to learn every year, regardless if we're getting audited or not. It's nice to step it up when it's time, because then, and we always say, no matter what course you're taking, no matter what activity, we have that background noise again. I don't know why. Okay, it's gone. No, it's gone. Can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so when you are being audited, no matter what article you read or textbook or webinar, if you're on with the ODHA or the CDHA or RDHU or whatever ones you are, take that information and put it in right away. That's the best way, because you're being more efficient with your time, right? So if you're reading something, you think, oh, I'm going to put that in, put it in. Get in as much as you can. Like I would just grab a whole article and I'd put it into my Smile portal. And then when the time comes, I have the article, I have the link, I have the whole article in there, and then I'll delete a bunch of stuff. But at least it's in there for now. I've just saved myself tons of time looking for things. So just I want you to think about that, because those are really great, helpful tips for your QA. So that's RDHU and Dental Hygiene Quarterly, and we will be in touch with you if you have courses booked in that. We have plans in place. We have a lot of online courses coming with all of you guys too, who will be on with us, which is great. And so we'll keep you all up to date on that. And then I don't know. And then we're doing a free trial. If you want to try the Dental Hygiene Quarterly, we're giving away a free trial. So that's if you just go to rdhu.ca/DHQ trial. So it's right there. And I will send a follow-up email to everybody who's on here. Okay, so with links and resources and as much as we can help you, we're going to have that in the follow-up email. Okay.
Can I just interject for a second? There was a question that just came in and it asked, where do you save the article in your Smile porthole?
So what I do, so if it's pertaining to my goal, like for instance, I just submitted my portfolio, and one of my big goals last year was on sleep apnea. So every time I found something on sleep apnea, I would just take the URL, which is the website, right? So I would put that into my activity. I'd have a goal for the sleep apnea, and then after each add new activity, that's where I'd write down the activity title, where I found it, who wrote it, all the credentials, all the things that make it easy for the assessor to find. I would just put it in right away. It takes 30 seconds. Then I would just take a bunch of the things that I know I'm going to want to pick out, those little, gems of knowledge. I would take that, the whole article, I just put it right into my learning. So number 3, so you have your goal, add new activity, add new activity, add new activity, and then there's the whole learning portfolio. Number 3, like the learning, I would just put it in there and I'll clean it up later. And then at the bottom is, how did you change your practice? Did you make things better for your practice? So that's where I'd put it, right in number 3, which is, what did you learn? And then obviously I'm not going to submit a whole article. I'm going to delete a whole bunch and just keep point forms, make it my own, but at least I have it in there. I don't just search for it anymore,
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, really great.
Thank you. I do have the list of numbers if you'd like me to read those out. Yeah. So for right now, for January 2021, we've got the numbers that end in 5 or 7. For January of 2022, numbers ending in 4 and 9 will have to submit. Okay. And for January of 2023, if your number ends in 3 or 8.
Great.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay,
Great.
so
So that's the free trial. So you can give it a try and see if you like it. You can see our new portal. And then we have OrVital, which is with Carrie. And
yeah, so we offer some continuing ed too, just layered learning to the courses that are offered really at RDHU. They're really great resources to go to that you can add in things. We have a webinar coming up tonight actually with Dr. Larkin, and he's going to be talking about basically implementing an oral systemic practice, and he's going to be talking about what does he envision this is going to look like after COVID. So it's sort of what we were talking about before, and the infection control and the need to control pathogens. If we can control the pathogens, we should be able to really help mitigate the spread as well as helping heal people. And so if you go to the OrVital website, there are a lot of free CEs. They're just great learning, layered learning. I talk about these through most of my presentations. And so please go out there and check them out.
And they can just find that at oralvital.com.
Yeah, and then there's a section that says KOL webinars. So if you go to that KOL webinar link right here, you can access them without a problem.
I've got my control panel there. Okay, I couldn't see it.
Yeah, that's okay.
So this is all the Compass program through Crescent Oral-B. So we're on the 3rd edition. So a lot of you have the 1st and 2nd edition, and this is something that I created with Crescent Oral-B, and it's a really great tool. It gives you so many resources. There's tons of hours in there, and because we're all in Ontario, we can use all the reading, all the studies, all that as part of our learning. I also help them include like a whole study, like it's like a whole reflection, and sort of like our portfolio, but it's in the Compass program. So if you go to dentalcare.ca and you register, you can get that, and they'll send it to you, okay? And something else that's very exciting is they've never done this before. They've always had to deliver to the dental offices. So now this is a picture of their sample program. So you can apply or register for their sample program, and they'll send it to your home. And Beth had a great idea the other day. She said, why don't we do what did you call it? An action research project. Yes?
Yes. Good. Action research.
Yeah, so you can do your own research because we're not with clients. You can do your own at home with your family. And I think that's a great idea, because then you get to experience the stannous fluoride, you get to experience the benefits with your own family. And then when you go back to practice, and you can put that into your portfolio too. Like, what did you learn? These are the things that I learned about stannous. And then how did you apply to your practice? Well, during the COVID, self-isolation time, I did my own study at home, and these are the results, right? And for me, with my family, when we started using the stannous and the power, things changed in my family, because I had a son who I do share this story, and he would kill me if he knew, but he had terrible, terrible breath, and we couldn't even walk down the hall. You could smell him, right? So he really took to the whole regimen. He took to the power, he took to the rinse and the paste, and now he is fine. He doesn't have bad breath any longer, and he has a beautiful girlfriend now. Before it was he would just kill me right now, but he would just not, it would be bad, right? Think about that social aspect with bad breath. Halitosis is bad, so stannous is great for that. I had terrible sensitivity, and I couldn't even enjoy my ice cream anymore. I couldn't, with my debridements and everything was super sensitive. So I don't have that issue at all anymore, which is life-changing, because I love ice cream. And I love to get my teeth, I don't want to say cleaned, but debrided. And what else? And then for me as well, like I would wake up in the morning with a gungy mouth, and I couldn't even say good morning to people. I'd have to run right to the bathroom, brush my teeth. But now with this whole thing, I have experienced a very fresh breath and mouth every day. So just something to think about. If you have any of those issues yourself and your family, like go to dentalcare.ca, sign up for Compass. So I'll send the link, because you have to sign up, register on that website, then you opt into the Compass program, and then you opt into the samples, and to get them to your home is a great thing. And then you can just work on your quality assurance and use these resources, and that's all free, right? So I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's great, actually. It just shows that they really do, they've really gotten behind us as dental hygienists, and I love that you can come right to your home. I think that's great.
I think it's great too. What else? I think that's it for that. And I will send, like I said, I will send the links as well. But if you are comfortable on the computer, you could probably figure it out for yourself too. But I'll send the direct links.
I know I know the Oral-B reps, they were coming into the offices and dropping off samples that way. With all that's going on, they might not mail you samples to your house right now. I don't know, but you can always reach out and see what's going on that way. There's a question about how do they get samples to their house?
They are. That's what I'm saying. They are mailing to their house now.
Oh, wow. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's like I said, they never did that before. It was always to the dental office, but now's a perfect time to kind of experiment and to dive in and not have to pay for anything too, right? So they're doing this whole sample program to your home, and so then you can try it, and it'll come with the gum detoxify and the sensitivity, so you'll get both.
Wow, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Program, right, Kathleen? Are they sending the Compass? Will the Compass program come with that?
So no, it comes from 2 different suppliers. So you'll have to order Compass, and then that'll come. And remember, like, look at the back of Compass too, because it has all the online learning as well, like for online courses, plus compendiums, plus studies, plus articles. Kind of has everything in there in that Compass program, but you have to order that separately and then order the sample kit separate. And you just put your home address for both, and they'll ship it to your home.
Beautiful.
Yeah. There are really great resources that you have helped create in there with regards to following goals, creating goals, what did I learn? So you can track your learning through using some of those worksheets that are in the Compass. So I really do encourage you to look at it. I think it's a really great resource.
That's great. Thanks, Carrie.
And at the beginning of the year, they came out with a really great online program if you're interested in understanding implantitis. So I really enjoyed that program that they produced. So that's online at dentalcare.ca, and it's one of those self-study programs. It's excellent. So if you know, look at what all of the resources. It's not just about dealing with self-care. You can learn a lot about the systemic link and dealing with perio and as well as implant disease.
That's just it. It's like any topic that you are studying right now, you could go into the search and they have, like, you can search by topic. So just look for that topic. It doesn't even have to have anything to do with any, status or power or anything. It's continuing education, and it's
absolutely
things that you can add to your existing learning, right?
Yeah. Because we're always trying to get people to work smarter rather than harder. So rather than just having one, a goal made of just one course that you attended, make your goal and then find as many resources as you can to go from a 2-hour goal to a 10-hour goal, right?
Exactly. Bigger and better.
Yeah.
If you have all these 2-hour goals, which I have seen many people do that, and it's like so much work for yourself. Just make your one goal statement, get lots of activities in there. There's so much free stuff out there that you can find. And I will do a video as well on how to find resources and stuff and post it, because it's what I love to do. I love looking for other resources and adding it to the Dental Hygiene Quarterly and everything. So there's so much good stuff out there. And make sure it's from a reputable source, right? We want to make sure it's from the people that we're talking about today even, and there's so many other ones too. But if you ever just even want us to, if you have a topic, you can always just send us an email and say, do you have any other extra resources for this topic? And then we can help you. Just email info@rdhu.ca. And if Melissa's watching, she's probably going, oh my gosh.
Well, they can also reach out if you are at a course at RDHU and you're looking for more layered learning activities and you didn't get enough or you'd like some more, then just reach out to the person who presented, and I'm sure they'd be happy to, because there's new stuff coming out all the time.
Yeah, and so this next one is with Bisco, and they had Dr. Joy. They just did their 3rd one last night. Beth, I missed that one, but you watched it and you enjoyed it. So that's another one. You go to Bisco's biscocanada.com and go to their continuing ed. They've got tons of stuff.
Yes, it was
one more.
They've all been really good, actually.
Yeah, and she's really, I've only seen the one so far. I have to watch the other ones, but I thought she was pretty entertaining and,
Oh yeah.
And
She was
very
tugging at my heartstrings yesterday, tugging at my heartstrings. She was promoting lasers and all the things that I love. So it was
That's
good. It was really good.
And so you must be excited, Beth, because we're talking about lasers on April 4th.
I'm all excited.
Your show.
I kind of like them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So this is another resource that you can go to. If you put Friends of Hugh Freedy in the Google Driver, then you'll see that Hugh Freedy has a continuing ed site. So you'll know that you're on the right page because this is what it looks like. It has lots of topics on it. So Carrie, if we flip to the next slide. So then you'll see actually that they have a couple of webinars on trying to deal with COVID-19. And then they have all these webinars on demand. You can see all the different topics down there, and under each one there are usually several. And if you go to the next slide, you'll see one of our buddies, Joanne, has a great webinar posted here as well about oral cancer screening. So
Nice.
and then when you even go down to the very bottom, Friends of Hugh Freedy Education, which would be the next slide, then you can see there's all these different topics about trying to maintain ortho in a regular practice, to dealing with dental fear and anxiety. So there's a wide variety of different webinars that you can utilize for free from Friends of Hugh Freedy. There's instrumentation ones as well. Two of the really good ones that I really like are, there's one about exploring and one about probing. Both of them are very well done, and this is key to our practice. So it's always great if you're doing any sort of instrumentation goal. If you're watching the BISCO ones, then another layered learning activity would to go here and review probing and exploring would be wonderful. So I just show you a few of the spots, but this is what when you open these tabs, this is what you'll see, and but there's plenty there as well.
So they would go to friendsofhughfreedy.com. Is that what they would do?
If you just put in Friends of Hugh Freedy continuing education, then it will come up.
Okay.
So you can put Friends of Hugh Freedy in, and then it will come up as well. It'll say continuing education class. So it falls under hughfreedy.com, but it's got a whole bunch of backslashes, and you don't need to be putting all that stuff in. But as you could see, the couple of slides before, if we could just whip back there, Carrie. There you go. That's what it looks like. So if you want to take a picture with your phone, if you go one forward.
I'll Google it and send it to you too. Oh, perfect.
Okay, so that's where you would go, and then you'll find all these different on-demand webinars there. Perfect.
So wouldn't that be a great goal for this year too? Is COVID-19 and it'll keep you up to date. It'll keep you up to date with what we need to know anyhow. And so every time you're reading something from ODHA, CDHA, Hugh Freedy, wherever you're getting the information, then read it and then put it into your small portal, and that could be a great goal for this year. And then it keeps you up to date with and feeling like you're current as well on what's going on.
I feel like I'm in school. I'm like, I don't want to interrupt you. I'm like, let me put my hand up. I have a question for you. So where would we put that? Because one of the questions came in just now. Where do we put this in a Smile portal? So if our goal was COVID-19, where that would be a goal, and then would it go into the learning?
2020. So I would do 2020, add a new goal. I plan on improving my practice by investigating the COVID-19 and how it will affect my practice.
Okay.
Right? So that you could even continue, because then, and how it will affect my practice is really the learning outcome, right? Because at the end, did you learn how it's going to affect your practice? So I think that'd be a fine goal statement to say.
Even understanding COVID, the infection and the modes of transmission.
Yeah,
right?
that's
so I will share with you a website that has it really well explained. So we can you could add to that. Sorry, I'm getting feedback. And then you can go forward and have some changes that we can foresee that will be happening to the way we have to treat our clients going forward. And ourselves, right?
And then, so then you'd have that goal, you create your goal statement, and then you would add this as your add activity, add things that we get from the ODHA as an activity. So each one is entered under that goal, add a new activity, and then you just document what did you learn, and then how did you apply it to your practice. That makes sense?
Yeah, that totally does. All right, let's see what else we have here. There's a course coming up from Oral Science.
Right. So this is on their Instagram. I just kind of took a picture of this. So live free webinar on their most loved products. I know they have great products. We all know that. So I think that would be really great. I'm going to jump on that one too. When is it? It's Wednesday, April 1st at 1 p.m. So next week. So put that in your calendar. Perhaps even go to Oral Science and follow them as well. And there, so that's another one that you can take a look at.
Yeah. So we're really happy that everyone spent the time today with us, and we're excited to try to help as many people as we can during a very uncertain time, I have to say. And I think it's nice that we can come together, and it makes me feel better when I talk to you guys, and when we can kind of stay engaged, it does help us sort of move forward and feel a bit more normal, I guess you can say, because I think that whole normalcy has changed.
Putting makeup on and curling your hair, it feels kind of nice, right?
Yeah. Well, you don't know what I have on underneath my shirt. I might have my pajama bottoms on. You don't know, okay? Yeah. But
yeah, we don't talk about what's on the bottom.
No, but
it is nice to connect for sure. It does. It makes you feel like there's a little bit of normalcy happening. Beth and I did a 3-day. It's like it was a 3-part online QA course this week, and that we really enjoyed that, and I think everybody on with us enjoyed it. So I think that's going to be something that we'll continue to do for a while anyway. So that's just people working on their small portal and explaining what we need to do. And yeah, it was very nice to get back to be a little bit more normal and to be connected, because we're all like at home with kids. My kids are older, but I know a lot of people are home with their kids, and this is time for you, for your professional development, for you to help keep connected and don't feel so disconnected, and then, you know, keep going out for your walks and everything else that that makes us feel good. And I like seeing posts of people, what they're doing, and yeah, we have a nightly dance party with my mom and my sisters, and that's been fun. Yeah, so you got to do what we got to do. And I just look forward to when it's all behind us, you know, and it will be.
it will. So, well, thank you, everybody.
Well, anything else, ladies?
No,
I think we'll just send out when we're going to do the next one. We'll send that out. You already told them about the one coming up with Chrissy Ford, and then we'll work on putting something together to hopefully talk about going back, going back to the office.
That's right.
Perfect.
Okay. All right.
Hold on.
Thank you for joining us.
Anna Louise, before you sign off, there was just one more question that came in, and it was about the COVID-19 website you mentioned for information. Do you know what that website is, or do you want to send it out as a resource with Kath?
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah,
okay.
I'm going to do that.
We'll send that link out.
Great.
Okay. Perfect. I'm going to work on that follow-up email. Get it out ASAP.
Perfect.
Thanks, Kath.
All right. See you later, everyone.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.